On the surface, this doesn't really look like a whole lot. Just another boring, generic, full-tower computer case. With a Pentium D. Dude, why would you waste your time with this piece of crap? Keep watching. You'll find out pretty soon. If we go ahead and have a look inside here, this thing actually has an interesting past, and a very interesting recent past at that. This was on a cart that was stacked full of machines, and when I was moving the cart, I was not paying attention to what I was doing at all, like I usually don't, and I hit something, hit a piece of trash in the hallway that somebody left, and this machine, and I think 2 or 3 others that were sitting on top of it, hit the floor at high speed. So you can see it broke the front panel like that, although nobody's ever going to really see that but me and you guys when you watch this video. And it also broke off this one latch here. Did it damage anything else? Well, I really don't know. So I guess we're going to find out in this video. I do still have one latch. If we go ahead and take a look at the back, we can see where things get interesting pretty quickly. Well, that's not really all that interesting, but check this out. Well, PS2 and 2 serial ports, or sorry, a serial port and VGA, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. That's not really all that interesting. Sticker certainly is. SysID. Now, this usually refers to an ID LED, where if you push a button on the front panel, it lights up an LED, so you can find this in a rack. In a rack? Hold on a minute here. Post LEDs. What the hell is this? Well, you got me. This is actually the second of 2 real pieces of server hardware that I have. This one's actually a little bit better than the other one in that it's got dual gigabit NICs, although you lose one of the USB ports. I've added in this because what this is going to do is this is going to be my new firewall. So I've got gigabit for the main networks, and this 100 meg is going to go off to another network switch. And that is going to be powering, or maybe even a wireless, but probably a wireless, like an 802.11g or something like that. And that's going to be my firewalled network where I plug untrustworthy computers in, so all they can do is access HTTP and HTTPS. And probably a few other protocols, but I haven't really decided that yet. Definitely HTTPS, and probably HTTP as well, maybe even nothing else. There, I guess, are instructions on how to do various things. I guess that's how to remove the front panel. And there's a fan in the back there. Nothing real fancy. Alright, let's pull the cover, which I should be able to do with one hand without stopping the video. No tripod or anything required. The power supply that's in here is probably a piece of crap. Cooler Master. 400 watts. I don't think I'd trust this thing to put out 250 watts. But it doesn't need to. It only needs to put out 150. And it's also got a 4-pin P4 power connector, sorry, the EPS 12 volt. That does split off into 2 so-called P4 power connectors. There's the RAM there. I believe this thing would support ECC memory, but I don't have that laying around. So I just went ahead and put 2 gigs of random memory in there. There's the optical drive, which isn't plugged in. That's brilliant. I should probably plug that in. The board itself is very interesting. This is coming out for some reason. I better fix that. But there's the CPU. It's only a single CPU, which kind of sucks. And it also only supports Pentium Ds and Pentium 4s, and of course Celerons, but who puts a Celeron into a server? Let's get real here. So here's the fan. I may actually pull that fan out and use that for another project because it's got the speed monitoring that I would need, but I may not depending upon where I go with that project. ATI ES1000, I believe that is a network controller, but I'm not positive on that for the Ethernet. Although it might not be. This might have dual Intel NICs. You know, I was looking for that CMOS battery all of last night and I couldn't find it. It's right there. Seems to be good though, so I'm not going to touch it. This has me puzzled. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. Looks like Slot 6, PCI Express X8 and PCI riser expansion slots for 64-bit. So I'm guessing that's what it's used for. If you've got this in like a rack mount case, you plug in a riser that will put those slots sideways. I'm guessing that's why that's like that, but that's very odd looking. It's too bad it's not PCI Express X16 though. That would be nice, although I don't suppose you don't really need that in a server. It does not have a slot 4. That would go there, presumably for something. I don't actually know. It looks like it's longer. Maybe an X8? Yeah, probably another X8. That down there would be an X4, maybe? I don't know how these PCI Express things work. I'm an old school guy, so I know what the PCI X 64-bit slot right there is, and these two 32-bit PCI slots. What else is interesting on this board? Looks like it's got 4 serial ATA connections, which isn't too bad. 2 parallel ATA. I don't think it's got a floppy, which is a curious omission. Although if it does have a floppy, again, I can't really find it. And I don't think there's really much else that's worth pointing out about this. So I'm going to go dig up a hard drive and install it in this. And we will continue to power it on and install the operating system. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to actually be trying out a couple of hard drives here, because I don't know what their status is. They're labeled dead, but I've had drives from here in the past that were labeled as being dead, and there really was nothing wrong with them. So, we're going to find out. Okay, so I don't even know if the system works, and here I go plugging in drives that may or may not also work. They're labeled dead, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot, because I've pulled drives out of the pile of dead ones that there really was nothing wrong with. So let's see, let's flick the power switch on in the back. Turns on immediately. The LED on the front isn't working. Oh, hold on, I take that right back. There's post LEDs up there. Now, there we go. Now we got the power LED in the front. And we got video. Huh. Look at that. Wow, it actually works. So let's go into setup, if I remember what the key for setup is. There we go, F2. If this keyboard isn't working. Did I plug in the keyboard? I'm pushing F2 and it's not responding to me. Oh, here we go. So what is this? Pentium D, 3... Holy moly. Wow. Okay, that's better than I was expecting it to be. Huh. Wow. Not bad. Is the time actually correct? Is it really 4:18 right now? 4:22. Well, that's close enough. Huh. Wow. Look at that. It's a little slow to respond, but that's probably because of the console redirection business that this thing has. So there are 2 drives there, 80 gig and a 500. I'm not keeping both of them. The optical drive is not seen, well, probably because it's got no power going to it. Should have fixed that. AHCI is on. AMT BIOS extension, I don't really need that. Memory configuration, it is not ECC. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we can do a whole lot of overclocking. That sucks. But it is a server board, so that's kind of to be expected. So, everything here should be fine. It's even set to automatically power on. Look at that. Set that up. And then we'll go F10, and we'll boot into my hard drive diagnostics program. Watch the post LEDs, which apparently are 3 color, or maybe they're just 2. Red and green, and both of them on to make yellow, whatever that means. I should look up what all that means. The post LEDs. I think that would be interesting. Designed for the Intel Pentium 4 processor. Zero. Alright. And here we go. Let's see what kind of shape these hard drives are in. These are the two that are labeled dead. The other two are not labeled at all. No drivers. Let's see if it'll actually work. Okay, smart warning, it says. What's wrong with it? Just CRCs. I'm actually probably going to use that 80 gigabyte drive, which claims to be dead, even though it's not. Although it is high hour. How about the other one? Same deal. Smart warning. Multi-zone error rate. Whatever. I'm going to actually test these two drives as well. And then I'll install this one in the case, and we'll get ready to install the operating system. Okay. So here we go. Booting now. Very slowly. Off of the USB stick. Never understood why this was so slow off of USB. But really it is just undeniably slow. I mean, look at this mess. So I'll give it, an hour to boot up, and then I'll come back. Okay, so it didn't take an hour to boot, but it certainly felt like it. I assure you I read that very carefully. Install PFSense. Continue with the default key map. Auto, there is only one disk, entire disk. Let's just go for MBR. GPT has really no value on a disk that's smaller than 2 terabytes. Let's see, ADA 0. Alright, so that should be good. We'll hit finish. Commit. And there we go. So now that will install. I'll come back when that's done. Alright, so it's already rebooted. You see the post LEDs in there. It's using about 200 watts from the wall, which is a little concerning. Quite a bit of power. So I don't know, I might end up swapping out this board for another one. So that should be installed on the hard drive, and that should go a whole lot faster. Yeah, look at that. Less than 1/10 of the time that it took. And I should probably plug it into my network so I can actually configure it. Okay, so I did something dumb. I actually configured it for no DHCP on the LAN, which is not what I wanted. I want the DHCP server to be running on the LAN because I want to be able to get addresses to things. So I did that. It's now in there. In its permanent home. Everything is hooked up, hopefully correctly. So in the next part of this video, we're going to take a look at the software configuration.